Okay. Hey Monis, hey Pallavi, Kanan, Richa, Pallavi. Awesome. Glad you guys are here. I'm excited to answer all of the questions. And so, okay, here's a bit of an intro. If you are old here, you know how things work. But if you are new here, if this is your first Q&A, then let me quickly explain how things work. You have a chat button where you can talk to each other, connect with the community, and answer each other's question if you wish to. Then you have the Q&A button below. So I'm going to first answer the pre-organized questions that my team has taken from the group itself. So every 2 weeks, Mondays I go live, but today it's just a special occasion. I preponed the Q&A. But it's usually Monday 6:30 p.m. So the morning of the Q&A, my team will collect questions from you guys. So we are super organized. You know in what order your question is coming up. So I'm going to give priority to those questions. So if you for next time want to submit your questions beforehand, that's the best way to do it, because then for sure your question will get answered. So make sure you do that. Post in the Q&A thread in the group, in the Facebook group, so my team can actually bring those questions to me. And at the end, if we have time, I'm going to take up questions from the Q&A box that you see on your window. So this is how things work. And we are just about 1 minute away from 6:30. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started. Okay. Cool. Okay, so today's 25th June, and these are you guys' query. The first one is from Samarth. The entire Instagram strategy is content is king, hashtag stories, IG ads. Is it really that simple? So no, it's not really that simple, because that's why we have a whole module on it. That is why I've taught you guys so much on Instagram. So in a nutshell, from a bird's eye view, yes, this is the strategy. But the strategy will only work as good as your implementation is. So yes, there are 4 things that you are supposed to do. But for example, if your content is of lesser quality, if your images are not HD, if you're not reshuffling your hashtags, if your stories are not engaging or not good quality, people will not respond to it. If your ads, if you don't follow the script I've given you guys, if you go out and try image ads or any other weird ads, then things might not work. So yes, from a bird's eye view, this is it. But you guys, you have to understand that the main thing is implementation. So make sure that your implementation improves. Everyone sucks at the start, so that's not something which is problematic. You start and you suck, that's fine, but the aim is to keep growing. So yes, at the end of the day, you do these 4 things and you will get IG success. I'm close to 100K followers with this exact strategy. I've also had so many clients with that. So again, the key is implementation. How well are you going to go and implement this, either for your clients or for yourself? Kavya is saying, I published the ad, there is image error, and I've chosen a carousel ad and have added 2 different images, and yet I'm facing this error. So please help me in rectifying it. So the error says an image is required to show. I'm not getting the option to add from Instagram or upload. So what you have to ensure is that the images that you're using is in the right format. So like, make sure that the images that you're using is in the right format. And let me actually go in and show you what you may be doing. So let me open this one ad and select carousel for you. So number 1, select carousel, and so it says 2 or more scrollable images. So you at least need 2 images or videos, and they have to be of the same, sizing. So if you are thinking, Okay, let me go to the guidelines. So whenever I'm confused, I also go to the guidelines. Where is my carousel? So you go here and check out whether the size you are using is what Facebook wants, right? So it says minimum number of cards is 2, maximum is 10, landing page URL is required, image type has to be JPEG or PNG, and if the video is there, then it has to have these supported file formats. You can click here. So all of these are conditions that you have to follow. So the reason why you're getting an error is because you're not following one of these, and you have to figure it out yourself about what is causing that issue. And as for the I'm not getting an option to upload from Instagram, you just go here and then click upload over here, and you should be getting, you know, all the option to upload anything, any video or anything you need. And from Instagram images, you can see that whatever is loaded into my IG account, I can select. So I am able to select. So this is how you do it. Make sure that you have the right IG account connected here so that the right images show up. And yeah, that's how you do it. Okay. Back to my Q&A sheet. One of my friend is a beautician. I'll be creating an ad. Which campaign do I need to create? So it depends. What are you selling? What are you selling, and what are you giving away for free? It really depends. So like, are you, you know, you don't have a funnel or a website, then there are 3 campaign objectives that I've told you guys to refer to. Like, there is a lecture, which is 3 quick ways to create campaigns without a website or funnel. So if you don't have website or funnel, then, you know, choose any one of those. If you do have a website and a funnel, if you do have a funnel, you can always go for conversions objective, conversions for optimizing for leads. So it really depends what you're doing. So okay, Neha, I'm into a full-time job and currently pursuing marketing as a side hustle. I'm not comfortable sharing this with my colleagues, and I have given a different brand name to my business. Okay, as per the Get Clients module, we are supposed to be sending 5 requests every day. How should I go about it and pitch ones they've given? So number one, I would say is, do you really need the colleagues on your profile? Can't you like unfriend them and make your profile as private? I don't recommend making your profile private. I like it public so that when you share value posts, it reaches everyone. But in this case, you can just unfriend whoever might have a problem with this, and maybe you feel conscious or whatever, and you can just unfriend them and start posting. That is one. You can go inside Facebook groups and pitch. So when you go inside groups and you pitch them, then they don't know, like your colleagues outside the group won't know what's happening, right? So whatever happens inside private groups is private, and no one outside gets to know about it. So you'll have to be a bit smart over here. As I said, unfriend people, make your profile private, and then do things inside the group. And once you make your profile private, you can then go ahead and start with your value marketing posts to attract and nurture clients. Soumya, I'm designing a funnel who uses Flowdesk. Okay, I've never heard of Flowdesk, but let's see what you're saying. To integrate CF to Flowdesk, we need to do it through Zapier. Now the client doesn't want to create a Zapier account and asking if we can integrate CF to her Shopify store to collect leads. So yes, CF and Shopify will also need Zapier because 2 systems that do not usually talk to each other, you need Zapier. Can we capture leads through Shopify? Yes. If you're using only Shopify, yes, Shopify will store like the lead information. That is not an issue. Can we capture leads in CF? Yes, I can show you that. So I have two solutions for you, and you can use whatever works best and then decide. So if I go to ClickFunnels, this is one of my test funnels, and so this is a landing page, and this is my the thank you page of my webinar. So if I go to contacts, I am collecting leads over here. Can you see? Can you see these leads, these email IDs? This is just a test funnel, but I'm able to see, and you can like you know, all time you can see all the lead data and then download the contacts. You can download the CSV file and then upload into Flowdesk, which if it is an email marketing tool, it should let you import these email contacts, right? However, in marketing, you need things to be automated. You cannot go in and do this download and import thing forever and ever. So you need some way to have two systems talk to each other via automation, and that is why Zapier is needed. Another thing I can help you with is to use something called an HTML form. So here you can actually, maybe CF integrates with Flowdesk, who knows? Like we can also check that. So you can check it in the integrations. But one more thing you can do is go to integrations, and here there is something called, HTML form. So if you can create a form in Flowdesk, and if it is an HTML form, then you can paste it here, and then you can hit parse and save form, and then basically that form is the connection between ClickFunnels and Flowdesk. So anything which is not directly able to talk to ClickFunnels, you can do this HTML form integration that way, and that solves a lot of problems. But I would actually first try to see if ClickFunnels does it directly go ahead and connect with your tool or not. So you can go to integrations and check here. So go to add new integration, and let's see. Yeah, I don't think it does. I've never heard of it, which means it's not really popular. But yeah, you can either like download contacts from CF and import, or you can do the HTML form stuff. So when you create a form anywhere, it will give you an HTML form to embed. So you can just do that, and that should hopefully solve all the problems. Okay. Let me know if this is making sense. Okay, I'm sorry I'm moving my face around, but that's what happens when you're sharing your screen. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I know a lot of people in the group are using other stuff also. I get it, like PayPal is expensive. I have used PayPal all my life, so I get it. But the other tools which you guys are using, TransferWise, Payoneer, are not that popular. So here's the thing. Clients are anyways taking a leap of faith while trusting you. Like you, first of all, do not reside in their country. You may be a beginner, so you may be just starting out. So now you add one more barrier to entry over there, which is like another platform which they've never heard of. And whenever money is involved, everyone is apprehensive, right? Like, would you, if I come out tomorrow with like a new website which lets you transfer money, would you try it? No, right? Because we all are protective of our money. And same is that with clients. So paying money for PayPal is just a cost of business. It's just a cost of business that you have to accept and just do it. So if you know that you're gonna pay PayPal some amount, can you charge that fees already within the cost and not tell the client? Yes, you can do that. So if you were charging $300, maybe that's your price, then just charge 330 or 350, and then you know the PayPal cost is converted there. The client is like fine with it because it doesn't make a lot of diff. They don't know what is included, and you are allowed to charge your worth. There is no rule against you not charging your worth. So that is why I teach PayPal in the course. That is why I have added, in 2.0, I've added these references to other website. And yes, if the client is ready, yes, accept those and do use those. But usually everyone would like PayPal or Stripe. Now, Stripe doesn't really work that well in India. It has started working. But I thought, like, as far as I remember, there were some problems over there. So until Stripe is here, you can then switch to Stripe easily because Stripe is the most used payment gateway. But yeah, for now it's just a cost of doing business. When you do business, you will you know, you have to pay something, and as I said, charge it to inside the cost. Ruth and water is unbreakable bond. OMG, yes, I have 1, 2, and 3 bottles beside me. I freak out when I don't have a water bottle around me. Honestly, that gives me anxiety. Um, very true. Far less hassles than creating an international account. Yes. What if client pays through PayPal but don't have credit card? How is that connected? Like credit card for what? Um, is it for like softwares and stuff? Well, if they for doing FB ads, okay. So they would have something, right? In the US, I think you can also use your debit card. They can also, attach their bank account with the FB ads. So they do need something at least. Like there is no really a solution for this. They do need something. So either a credit card, debit card, or bank account, they have to do something. Stripe take 10 days for the money to get credited. How long does PayPal takes? So PayPal actually holds your money. If it is the first couple of transactions, PayPal will hold the money for 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks even, and then it's super fast. Like 2, 3 days, it's there in your account. Okay. Arshia, I'm working with 2 clients, okay. Marketing agency clients, dentist who owns a clinic. They use online advertising to bring in more patients to walk into the clinic. They have great results as in testimonials, great. Lead magnet 10 mistakes dentists do after reopening from Corona. Okay, that's cool. But like be wary of using Corona related lead magnets. I've heard now, as of now, Facebook is cracking down on like rejecting ads and things like that. So may even lead to like BM account disapprove. Even we were using the COVID angle, but like in a sly manner, like don't use Corona directly, use like the tough times or something like that to be safe. Objective, close more dentists who will be willing to do marketing for their clinics. Okay. Close more dentists. So dentists are the clients who are marketing the clinic. Okay. I've set up the final lead magnet application form. It's a bit long, 20 questions. Wow, 20 is a lot. Strategy call. Client is not comfortable to do calls. So she takes applications forms in detail. Okay. I have closed 1 call appointment out of 15 leads. The CPL is $12. That's not bad. 1 out of 15 is what? 6% conversion, which is pretty good. Yeah. Okay. After doing this for a week, the ads are not performing, as in the results are stagnant. What is the daily budget? What is the objective? What are you optimizing for? What is your targeting? The audience is limited. Yes, the audience is very, very small. So daily budget is $10 a day. So here's the thing. If your cost per lead is $12, then your daily budget is smaller than that, right? So if Facebook spends $10 per day, it's not even able to get 1 lead. So you have to increase the budget in this case. $10 was okay when your cost per lead was $3 to $5, then you can get a couple of leads a day. But when your cost per lead itself is more, $20 a day is good. You can try that and see what works. I would say launch a new campaign, launch a new ad set, not increase the budget from 10 to 20 on the same one. But yeah, $20 would work. And what does the targeting look like? For strategies, I would say, how are you doing on retargeting? Because if people do not book the application once, are you doing some retargeting ads? Are you retargeting them with ads which show social proof, and maybe there is an urgency? Because can you like think about this logically? When people are scrolling Facebook or Instagram, they are really like doing time pass. But if like they are scrolling in the middle of work or something, then not everyone has time to fill up 20 application questions, right? So then the magic is in the retargeting, and then you have to remind them again to fill the leads, fill the forms, and actually become a lead. So powerful retargeting is needed. Add social proof, add urgency, add an offer or a discount. And Do you think the lead magnet is bad? It worked well organically. It was downloaded by 400 people, but in ads, 5 leads. So yes, things which work well organically do not always, I'm not saying never, but do not always work well via paid. So I think the cost per lead is not that bad. So I think you're just not spending enough. So, I think the lead magnet is fine, but uh, you can actually go ahead and increase the budget and then see. Because with only 5 leads, meaning you would have spent like $60 only, again, you need at least 100 leads. So have you guys heard about the 100 visitor test? Whenever you want to see if I need to like check my funnel bottlenecks or ad bottlenecks or whatever, you need at least 100 visitors to come up on your landing page to see if the conversion rate of the landing page is good or not. Like 100 out of 20, out of 100, 20 people you want to opt in, right? So, but you have to let 100 people come in. Otherwise, it's just like, it's incomplete data. It is just so less amount of data. And this is like generic, not just related to this question, but like for everything. You guys are always ask me, right? How much should I run ads? And why have I asked you guys to at least take clients with at least minimum $500 a month of ad budget? Because $500 a month, meaning if I count just like generic cost per lead, it's $5. So $5, 100 leads is $500 per month. So, that's what you need. You need that amount of data, at least 100 leads at least, to see how are things doing. Similarly, if you want to know how the sales page order form is doing, 100 visitors on that page, and then 1 to 5% of that convert. So it worked well organically. Got 15 leads, so $180 is the spend. Okay, I read 5 above. The targeting is associations, doctors, dentists, medical professions. Okay, so it's clear that if you're targeting these people, they are busy people, they are working, they're saving lives, and you're asking them to fill a 20-minute 20 questionnaire, 20 question questionnaire, which is a lot. So I would say retargeting ads, and see how that does after that. Increase the budget and do retargeting ads. So usually the budget you want to set is 5x CPL, at least 5x CPL. So if your cost per lead is like $12, you should be spending $60 a day. I get it. It might be a lot for at least clients at the start, but like that's what is recommended. Working with a dental clinic, 30-second smile assessments. Okay, thank you. Page offers a free appointment. 5 leads after running for a week with CPL 14. So what country is this? I'm guessing that you're doing in the US. I did competitor research since it's a clinic. I could target only people. Yeah, so here's the thing. Whenever you are targeting local, the cost per lead rises because you can, number one, like it's local and there are already competition like dental field. There's so many other people running similar kinds of ads and things like that. And the audience size is really less. So can you try to do better ads? Like, okay, $14, like try better creatives. Targeting you can't do a lot, but you can actually, maybe you can create engaging videos. And I've taught in 2.0, I've taught you guys how to do engaging videos, so check that out. Yeah, inspiration is good, we always want that. Should I work on the lead magnet, or should I direct ads directly to the free consultation? I think you can. So what are the competitors doing? My opinion doesn't matter as much as what your research told you. So if they are doing ads and if it is working, and if not just one competitor, but you have to consider 2 3 competitors and see what they are doing and see what's working. And what could be the hookup? It would just be like a lead generation funnel. Nothing fancy required here. CPL is high, but the results are stagnant too. So what do you mean by the results are stagnant? Is like your leads are not increasing? So have you checked for not getting leads? Okay. So then you can actually just try new ads, new creatives, because what you have is not working. That's what the data is telling you. And as I said, if it's the same budget that you were running, then the reason you're not getting leads is Facebook doesn't like optimizing for anything which is like low budget. So as I said, 5x CPL is the minimum daily budget required. So can you like increase the budget over here also, at least make it 3x CPL or more? That would help. Okay. Akshay, I got this proposal after a Zoom meeting with a US based startup. Should I go for it? And how could I approach this task to satisfy them? So for everyone asking questions, what I like to do is I want you to share your thoughts with me. I am not going to be that kind of coach who is going to stroke your hair and offer you a cake and give you the full answer to anything that you're looking for. When I am answering questions, I need to see effort from your side. I don't want just like blanket questions. And this is like for everyone, but I don't see your thoughts in here. Like, let me see what's happening here. Like if after this you could have given me here's what I think and here's what I should do, then I would have like, you know, then it would have been much better. But let's see what you have. I've gone over a few things. If you were to talk with the company and get them on board. Yeah, that doesn't excite me. So basically, they're not paying you anything. It's kind of like a commission only thing. And like you get paid if they convert the client, not just if you bring the lead, if you bring the lead and they are able to convert it. So, and 10% of doing the work is so less. Like, why 10% only of doing the ad work? So apparently 10% of that 2700 is just 270 USD. My honest opinion is it's too complicated. It's too much work. You don't know when you'll get paid. And the 10% of doing the ad work is, it's not cool. So I would say no, but then obviously at the end of the day is your choice. I'm also working for a dental clinic who wants to offer online consultation, Practo, and build a messenger traffic ads. She is not willing to open her clinic, but wants to consult online. Have been running ads from 2 days is such a small amount of time, guys. Like Facebook ads is not magic. You have to at least let it run for 4 days, 3 to 4 days to actually get out of the testing phase. And if you want me to share how should I target differently, you could have shared like your ad screenshots for next time, or you can post it in the group later. But I would say how many ads are you testing? Because usually I see the biggest mistake people make is like just test a couple of ads. You need to test more, 2 3 images, 2 3 headlines, copy, and try to create engaging videos. And messenger ads is fine. It's great if no one wants a funnel, but then what is she giving for free and what is she providing value for? Because that also matters. What is your bait? That is my question. What are you giving away for free to build trust? Oh, so the consultation is free. Ah, okay. Free online consultation. And then what is she selling if she doesn't want to open her clinic? I'm not sure exactly. I understand. Then the question comes, if the bait is the free consultation, she wants to build brand value. Oh, so she's just looking for leads, I think. That's what you're trying to say, right? Okay. So then the question is, free consultation, you've gotten a 4 or 5 messages, which is cool. How are you building trust? Have you usually if I want to get consultations, it works best when you have a video sales letter. Like you have a landing page with a video on top where you give value, like who are you, why should we believe you, why should we trust you, what are the benefits of going on a call with me, because you're asking for a free consultation but people still have to invest their time and energy to come up and show on the call, right? So why you? And so you have to develop trust. What you can also do is you can run video view ads. She can record some value based videos, you can run video views ads, then retarget them with the messages ads. Like don't ask for a lead at the start when you're just starting out, when you have no brand, you have no trust built. So give them something for free, then any audience who has watched like 50 to 75% of the video, then you can run retargeting ads for them to sign up for the free consultation. That would work much better, and that will have actual brand awareness involved. Okay. Join the course and have a full-time job also. It is becoming increasingly difficult to give time and focus. Okay. I finished till model 2 in the first go, but had to start again. But I think I've reached that stage where I'm stuck. Okay. So the number one thing is don't compare yourself with others. These people who are posting their wins, they are like old people. They have been hanging out in the group since months, some even years. Like the course is live for 2.5 years now. Maybe who knows? They joined then. So why are you comparing your first step to their 100th step? It's not fair, right? You're just starting out. So don't compare yourself with anyone else. It's your journey and you're doing it for yourself, and 5 years later it's not going to matter that, oh, this person was doing more than me and I was behind. It matters that you grew 5 years later than you were before. So your competition is only with yourself. That's the only person that you're allowed to compete with, because everyone has things going on. Maybe they have no kids, no job, and you have those things. So it's definitely not fair to yourself to compare your journey to others. And you can do this. Just remember your why. The reason you're stopping is you've forgotten your why, and that is why I actually have you guys write your why in the welcome module, right? I want you guys to remember, why did you start this, why do you want it, what are you looking forward to, what are your goals, and what are you missing out on if you're not working on those goals. So it's a block. Everyone goes through blocks, and I want you to learn how to get over blocks yourself, because I won't be here always in your life to motivate you, right? So you have to, that is why, go back to your why. You have to learn to motivate yourself. You have to get over your blocks. So sometimes we quit things when things appear difficult, like maybe you're going through a lecture you don't understand, or the implementation is tough. Restart again, go through the content again. That's why we have the group and the calls. So I'm glad that you asked this question. I'm glad that you didn't remain stuck with this. Now you can actually get over it and move forward. So that's what I would advise. For landing page, I have to run conversion ads. Yes, you can. You should. You should run conversion. Kanan, hey Ruta, I have a client who is a manufacturer of scientific equipment. Okay. Yeah, this is a weird niche. Like, I've never seen ads of this niche on Facebook. I feel like people who buy in bulk still do it face to face via physically meeting each other with connections and networks. So the reason you didn't find any competitor is maybe because no one is running ads. What does that tell you? This might not be the right client for you. So I would say move on. When a bot sends a message to the user, is it possible for the user to share the message on the newsfeed? Maybe on the click of some button. So I don't think so. I don't think you can send or share the message anywhere. Maybe, so you can easily test this, right? You can easily test this. Have the bot send a message to you as a test, send an image and see if you are able to share the bot's message. It's a very easy test. Sometimes some things, you know, you can just figure out by testing. Okay. She has a boutique and yeah, so actually I've recorded this objection lectures in 2.0, which you can refer to for more such objections and stuff, but I'm going to answer this for you. What is the ad budget? That's my first question. Because otherwise, I don't know how many days it will take. Is it $1 a day? It is $100 a day. I want to know what could be the pain points for women buying mainly boutique wear from a marketing perspective. People do not buy clothes because of pain points. People buy clothes because they want to spend their money, they want to look good. So it's not really about pain points. It's more about like show them the benefits that our clothes are. Maybe you can say things like soft and maybe if the material and all is like created in a cruelty free non-vegan format, or but people really buy from because they want to, like clothes and all, it's there is no pain point as such. So it's just that they have to like what they see, they have to trust the brand so they can put their credit card in, you have to have free shipping, you have to have testimonials on your website, and these are the things that matter and less the pain points. I'm doing the proposal as per my proposal. I see that you will give some ad spend calculations. Yes. Yes. So for Instagram, yes, you can explain kind of how I share with you guys. It definitely depends on targeting and location. So you actually have to find this, like what is the country, what is the CPL and CPC that you're seeing in this niche. When I want to find industry stats, I go into big Facebook groups like Facebook ad hacks, etc., and post over there. First I search what is my niche, and then I try to see what questions came up and what are people getting results on that. And then if I don't find my answer, I also post in there like what is the industry average CPL for this niche. And sometimes you don't get an answer, and the last thing you can do is just try and get your own results and see if you can improve on your own with more testing of creatives and audiences. $300 at the start, that's a bit less. That's like minimum $500, as I told you guys before the start of the Q&A. Shopify average conversion rate is 2 to 3%. Yeah, that is true, but it also depends on how the shop is exerting trust. So, and 2 to 3% of what? Like, is it like visitors that convert or add to carts that convert? Because that is what you have to know. Conversion rate of the add to carts. But yeah, that's what you can do. Okay. Eyelashes and want to get sales. Yeah, you can do that. Carousel will work well. And okay, free plus shipping. Yeah, you can do that. That works. Okay. Free plus shipping. So you're gonna create a funnel on the website. I feel like I think with this one, since the budget is 600, I can think of two strategies. One, you can just focus on IG, full everything, have followers, post relevant content and stories, and then convert on DMs. And the second thing I can think of is you can do this, and you also have to, out of that $600, you also have to keep some budget for retargeting. So if they don't buy in the first go, so usually I like to follow the 70-30 rule in retargeting. It's not hard and fast number stats. I see, like, if the retargeting ads need more money, I do put it in, but usually I do 70% in cold ads and 30% in retargeting ads. So that is also what you can do. She has bots in her IG. What does that mean? Meaning fake followers? Yeah, if that is the case, then no. Yeah, IG doesn't work then. No, 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 absolutely not, unless she is ready to create a new profile. Yeah, so do the retargeting and cold ad strategy. Okay. In the course, you suggested to create a test campaign. Yes, yes. If I run a test campaign, what should the call to action be? Sign up to learn more. What should be my landing page? So the next page when someone signs on up is the thank you page, right? So the thank you page shows where they can actually get the guide. So I've showed the funnel in the module 3, so you can check out the funnel. I also show you how to write copy for that funnel and design on that funnel. So yeah, landing page, thank you page. That's the simple lead gen funnel. Run a test campaign. You cannot run traffic campaign on your Facebook page or profile. Facebook just won't let you. So you can run engagement ads to promote your Facebook page, but not traffic. What is the other alternative if I don't want to lead the audience to my Facebook profile? So it looks like you want to be anonymous. So here's the thing. If you create a Facebook page which has nothing to do with your name, no one is going to know that you are the owner. So you can like create like Ruta's jewelry shop or something like that. And, if you do that, obviously people know it's Ruta's profile, Ruta's page. But if you don't and give a brand name, which has nothing to do with your name, then no one's going to track you back to your profile. So that's not an issue. At first I created a BM account without Facebook page. BM account without. And now when I look into my BM, there are two accounts. First is personal ad account, and BM, this account has been disabled. Can I create ads from my personal account? Absolutely, yes, you can. This account has been disabled. Why? So first you have to figure out why. Usually I see a lot of BM related questions like this in the group, and let me address this once and for all for you guys right now. Number one, usually it's a mistake. Like if you know you have not done anything wrong, if it's a new BM, you have not created any ads or anything, or you only have one profile, so you'll get blocked if you try to create multiple Facebook profiles. It's not allowed. It's against policies. Just don't do it. You will have hell to deal with later on, so just don't do it. one profile per person. So I hope that you have not done that. If you have done that, then that's the case, the BM has been disabled. If you have created ads which like blatantly break policies, then this might have happened. Or you have a lot of rejected ads. But either ways, if you have not done anything wrong, is what I'm saying. If you have not done anything wrong, appeal. You can appeal on the business homepage, business manager homepage. You will have the request review button. In there, you can write an appeal. For the appeal, I've already included scripts in module 3 where I talk about what you should say while appealing. So there you can say that I just created the BM. I have not created any ads and I think this is a mistake. I request a manual review, and then you can put your case and they'll get back to you usually within 4 to 5 days right now. I only have one FB account. Then I don't think you've done anything wrong. Just appeal and it should come back. So mistakes happen. Facebook, so usually BM disablements and all take place from like bots and stuff. Facebook bots will do it. So Facebook has some automation set up that if things somehow maybe not look right, then the bots will shut things down. But you can appeal, a human will look at it and you'll get it back if you have not done anything wrong. But as I said, be always, like with FB ad people, be polite, be the best person you can ever be, talk politely, and try to get your stuff back. So you can try with debit card. So with BM account, here's the thing. With BM, we have increasingly noticed debit cards don't work. With BM, you need a credit card. So unfortunately, that's just how it is. Currency, if you're doing Indian, yeah, if you want to run ads in India, yes. Even though we might work with clients abroad. So your BM you're creating for your own ads, test ads, ads to be added to your portfolio, etc. So for the client, you will create their own BM. In that case, the client's BM has to be in their currency and their country and their time zone, okay? So for this, just run ads from a personal ad account to learn. That's fine. And in there, debit cards will work. Okay. Why was 2 accounts created? I had only created 1. So maybe you created 2. So sometimes what happens is you create a Facebook page and that creates a new BM. Maybe that happened. So like you'll have to figure out what you did. I cannot tell you what went wrong because I've not seen the process you've done. But anyways, you needed a BM. So like just appeal and get it back. For social media presence, I hope you're not talking about a Facebook profile, because only one profile, I cannot say this enough, one profile only, one for personal use. So for IG doesn't care. You can have hundreds of IG accounts. Instagram doesn't care. But yeah, so if you were like using a private account for like posting fun stuff for friends and family, then don't do marketing stuff from that one. So if you want to promote your own services, create another IG account. Yes. What is your take on mixing personal life with professional life? Oh, I love this question. I just need to switch on the light. Okay. Yeah. So I think you can do it because that's what a personal brand means, that your life is a part of your brand. But I don't like to push it too far. For example, if you notice my IG, it's like 90% business. Sometimes I will share things going in my life or what I'm doing, or maybe remotely personal or fun stuff. But you will see it's 90% business related stuff. And out of that, I focus on 70% providing free value in terms of IG posts, IG stories, YouTube videos, and things like that. And then the rest 20% of the time I will promote my content. So that is what I would like to do. That is what I do, and that is what you also can choose to do. I'm not too sure what this means. MA group is awesome. So you can post in there if you are like looking for help or anything. Um, okay. I'm 30 years old and mom of 2 boys. I got married. Okay. And have no confidence to face people. I had a lot of dreams of working anywhere and traveling around, and I couldn't achieve it. Feel inferior because my friends are working and earning well. I have no work experience. I've always been a very active student. I need help. I'm stuck and not able to get over it. So I totally understand your situation and where you're coming from. And so here's the thing, you got into this course, you got yourself into this course because you want to achieve something, right? And we really get confidence when we do things. So I would say that go deep into the course and implement the content, post whenever you are stuck. Like that's why the Facebook group is so active, and you have seen, if you have seen it, it is so supportive. And that is why I do these coaching calls to help you guys. I love that you reached out for help and support when you are stuck, because like being stuck definitely gets us nowhere. But here's the thing, your past doesn't define your future. What happened before, or maybe you were not able to achieve your dreams for whatever reasons, doesn't mean you won't be able to. I've seen so many housewives who have never done anything work related before get into this field and literally kill it. Okay, so there are so many inspiring stories that I have seen. And I believe that because you got yourself into the course, you can do it too. So, and confidence will grow slowly and steadily. So, how will it grow? You will create a campaign, you'll post in the group. Maybe you did well, and the community will tell you that. Maybe you didn't do well, but you got feedback out of it. So, do you guys know what the difference is between a winner mentality? And I was gonna do a YouTube video on it, but let me share what I was going to say. You are never a loser as long as you keep trying. So when you do things, yes, we are all afraid of failure. It's human to feel the that, oh, failure is going to kill me, what will other people think, and things like that. But a winner does things and knows that whatever comes back is just feedback. So if the thing worked, then everything is fine, and you learn that, oh, this works. But if it didn't work, then you know what doesn't work now. And the next time you try it again, you won't do the same thing. You will learn, you will grow from it. So really, there's just no way that you're going to fail, because it's either good feedback or feedback that you're going to learn from. And if you're scared of failing, there's just nothing like failure. It's just feedback. So winners always think in this way that, oh, and you guys might think that, oh, I'm put together and I don't have any fears or anything. That is so untrue. We all have them. No one is special that they are not scared of failures or doing anything new. This all comes around when all of us are trying anything new. This was how I was feeling when I was quitting my job and I didn't know what I was ever going to do. Like changing the field from software development, which I'd done for 4 years in college and 3 years in the job, and then like starting marketing when I had like zero idea how things work. So adopt the winner's mentality. Try things, and it's just feedback. Learn from it, learn from feedback, and keep doing it. Keep getting up, keep doing it, and you're gonna do it. I believe in all of my students. What do I add in my portfolio? There's a 1 hour lecture in the course. I'm not gonna answer this question. Go watch that lecture. I exactly tell you what to add to the portfolio. I exactly have given an example of what to do in a portfolio. So go refer to that lecture. Module 6, get clients module. Yes. How will you run ads if you don't have a Facebook page? You do. You can match it. That's fine. It's your wish. Okay, so those were the questions that I got from the group, and I have a client who created a perfect webinar. Which link should I use in the broadcast room? Which link should I use in the broadcast room? What link should I use in the broadcast room? You have a webinar and then at the end you can have a sales page link. Is that what you're asking? You point people to the sales page of the product. Oh, the client does webinar with Zoom and YouTube. How do you do a webinar with Zoom and YouTube? I think you either choose one or the other, right? So which link should I create and put it up there now? Like, please advise which link to put up on the broadcast room and the replay room. So you're mixing two things, I think. Like either use Zoom or YouTube for doing the actual webinar. When you do a webinar on Zoom, the broadcast room is not on CF. It's on Zoom itself, like this. This is a webinar that I'm doing. And you guys are watching this webinar. So this is the broadcast room. So when you're promoting, like when people sign up, you should promote the Zoom webinar link. Then on the replay page, you upload your replay, the Zoom replay to YouTube, and you embed the YouTube video on the replay page, and then you send the replay room link after the webinar is done. Okay. Okay. Taslima, when we duplicate an ad, it shows three options: original campaign, create a test to compare ad set with your original ad set. What happens when I select this option? So could you have tried this option instead of asking this question? Like that would have been faster, no? So just try things. You don't be afraid to play with Facebook ads, but it means that it basically duplicates your original ad set, and then you can change something in the duplicated ad set, and that competes with the original one for split testing. Yeah. Okay. Can you speak a bit about running ads for FMCG? So I've shared the script in the IG module, so go through that. The cost per follower is much higher. We did the personal video IG ads for own handle and they work. But I've noticed that for brands, every time the founder isn't comfortable recording such videos. If they don't want to be the face of the brand, then you can create engaging videos, like use some apps that I've mentioned in the course, like Mojo and stuff. It's there in the Ad Creative Lectures module 3 of 2.0. Let's say we are running 5 ads in one ad set to check the best performing ad. 2 are giving high rates. Now, if you duplicate the ads for different interests, how do we do it? The inactive ad will be copied, right? So usually what happens is for different targeting, I like to test all ads again. Just because the ad didn't work well for the original ad set doesn't mean it won't work well, because it's all of a mix and match of like seeing what targeting works best with what ads. So you can run it and see how it works. Can we Indians connect the account with debit card? Okay, so credit card is needed for business manager and debit card is fine for personal ad accounts. And for PayPal, you can connect a debit card, but you only need to connect your debit card when you are paying someone. I don't think you're paying someone with PayPal, right? So you just connect your bank account to accept payments from clients. Can we do retargeting ads for native Facebook message campaign? Why not? In this session, you've told that international clients can use debit card and online banking if the client doesn't have credit card. One client said no to me that she doesn't want to use credit card. Every time this is becoming a barrier to close clients I'm experiencing for the third time. So I obviously don't live in the US. So like they have to figure out their finances, right? And here's the thing, here's the question to ask yourself. If they are not willing to figure out their own businesses payment issues, if they are not ready to invest in Facebook ads, why do you want to work with them? Don't work with them, move on. Like they are responsible for figuring out the payment issues of their own business, right? How is that your responsibility? Like you can guide, but they have to make the effort. That is what I meant when I posted in the group about creating a win-win situation for both parties. I was going through the methods to run campaign without a website. If I don't have a website and want to run lead gen campaign using the form, can I save privacy policy on Google Drive and give link in the column? I don't think it will work, but that's a bit of an issue with lead gen ads. So yeah, so you can either use like a page on wordpress.com website, like that is free. So you can set up your privacy policy there and then link it. wordpress.com, not .org. I was going through methods to run campaign without a funnel or website. Okay, I've already done this. I was approached by Skin Clinic who wants to start their online consultation, but it's not free. So basically you're saying that the consultation is not free, it's paid. You would need massive amounts of trust and brand building for someone to pay for a consultation. Like no one does it. Like online consultation, can you find any competitor who's doing that? Because if not, then can you share your screen again so that we can read the questions? So the questions are now on Zoom itself, so I really can't. Yeah, so what I would say is for this, you want to figure out if competitors are doing this or not. The free consultation, okay, I get it. So why not create a lead magnet for free? They might be hesitant to doing online consultation. So do a free lead magnet, PDF, at the end of the PDF or whatever, video or whatever, then upsell them to an online consultation and then they can like go forward. So I'm sure they will be happy to hear this option. When we use long form short form ad copy for short form ad copy for running ads, what would be the ideology? So it's really like you see what kind of ads other people are running. Long form ads are usually important when storytelling is involved, like when you write ads for online coaches and consultants and for services and products like that in the online niche. Usually you want long form copy because you have to give value, you have to do storytelling and things like that. For fashion niche and e-commerce, you do not need long form copy, because who cares about storytelling, who cares about your story, who cares about getting any value? They just want to buy things. So yeah, that's what you need to figure out. That is why I emphasize so much on you guys doing competitive research. In 2.0, I've gone into so much detail in module 2 first lecture itself to show you guys how to do competitive research. So you can model after the ads that are already working well. So all the form queries have already answered. You can paste it here again because my team stops gathering questions after 6 p.m., right? There has to be a time limit. Like if you post a question in forms after 6 p.m., no one is going to check. So you have to be proactive over here, because we have to get prepared for the Q&A at least half hour before we go live. So just post it here itself now. I started a campaign today, but few of the video ads are still in review. And images 1 are active. Should I pause the images 1 till the time other gets approved? No, that's fine. Let it be. Don't touch ads. Don't touch ads in the first 2-3 days. I've told you guys this. No matter what, don't touch it. Let it get some data and then you decide. I'm working with logistic company based in US and they want to generate clients for themselves who export from the US. Who export from the US, what do they export? And so I would actually do competitive research here first. So like figure out if anyone else is doing ads like this or not. And then you can model after that. Rucha, a lot of leads specifically asked, do you have clients in the US? Can you suggest a good reply for this? No, because the truth is the truth, right? So you can say, no, I don't, but I feel like if your work is good enough, this should not be an issue unless, you know, there's some other red flag in the way you're pitching or something. Normally tell them the marketing approach is same, it's just the metrics. Oh, in ads, you mean? Okay, because of our INR ads manager, all our screenshots in INR. Is there any other way to get dollar settings? Yes, you can get dollar settings. You can create a new ad account. The business manager, usually if you spend some money on the first ad account, then it will let you create another ad account. In that, then you can choose US country and choose the USD currency and you're good to go. So you can definitely get some portfolio results in that account. What is multi-level marketing? No, Facebook doesn't allow it for that. And multi-level marketing is like pyramid scheme, like you have a company who sells products, then you acquire more people who sells the same products with commission. So like you can Google this, it's like a pyramid scheme. When we are giving social media management to clients, how many ever it is per week? Ever? Really tedious to search for topics, rating graphics in a single day. How can we segregate content creation to keep everything ready in advance? I'm not sure I get the question, but I think you're asking about like social media content creation and scheduling. So we actually plan client content a week before we actually go live, because if things are going live next week, we have to write the content and then we also have to get it approved from clients. So that matters. And usually we like to do content creation in one go, like, so like when you do batch production of content, it is just more productive and you can think more, like if you're in the zone of doing that thing, it just works better. I think that was your question. You advise us to have clients spend at least $500 ad spend. Is it the same for Indian clients? So I don't teach you guys how to work with Indian clients, but I teach you how to work with international high ticket clients. But that's fine if you want to work with them and if you have leads and if they are willing to pay your prices, why not? Then I would recommend at least $300 a month. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what's happening in the comments? All right, let me know, guys, if the Q&A was helpful in the comments. And meanwhile, let's see what's happening in the comment section. Do you use external aids for the Zoom session? I mean, external camera, light and mic. The session is completely free from those technical glitches. Yes. Thanks for the awesome coaching. Yes, I'm using a camera and it's secret. No, just kidding. I actually recorded a video for you guys and it's coming soon. It's getting edited right now. I share all of my tools about how I record and things like that, like YouTube videos and these sessions and all, but I'm using a Logitech. Yeah, I'm using a Logitech webcam and I think it costed me 10K INR. I got it 3 years ago because I wanted to look more professional on client calls. So it's the same one that I'm using now. The mic is just my normal MacBook one. So the MacBook laptops are pretty good on its own unless they're super old. But yeah, the mic is just, I can connect one, but I think this one just works. So usually with course recording, I do have an external mic attached. I use a Yeti. Again, that video will share all of the details about it, but yeah, I hope that helps. I know I should not be overwhelmed by this and try to explain myself, but there are a lot of MA students and other people in most of the groups. This makes me a little worried if there are enough market opportunities. So, why? So that shouldn't worry you. Like, think about it. There are so many people in the world, right? 7 billion, and you are one of them. I'm definitely not saying that all of them are worth being your clients. But if you check like the US businesses data, there are so many businesses that are looking for your help, and there are so many MA students working with clients. So this is, I feel like this, you're creating a block in your mind and kind of sabotaging and blocking your own success. And so don't think of it that way. There are so many businesses all over the world who need your help. And if you check in Facebook groups and all, there are like, the biggest Facebook group I've ever seen are like 50K people. And basically everyone is the same, 50K or 100K, I would say, 100K people. And there are millions of businesses all over the world, right? So do the math. There is definitely more work. You're just getting conscious that the same people are everywhere. Who cares? Who cares what other people think about you, right? My question is, what should be the landing page after creating our test campaign? Okay. I'm not sure how we missed it, but sorry about that. But yeah, you can always post again here. What should be the landing page after creating a test campaign? So the landing page should be, what are you giving away for free, right? So if you've seen that yoga campaign I've done, you're giving away a free guide for yoga. So then the landing page shows what exactly is the free bait you're doing, what is a free thing that you're giving away. So the landing page talks about the free thing. Okay, like do you remember my webinar landing page? You actually came in and saw my webinar landing page, then you opted in, then you watched the webinar. So my webinar was the free bait over there. So what did I talk about on the landing page? The free thing I'm giving away in my campaign. So this is all about like lead generation and creating a bait. If you are unsure of and need more details, I would highly recommend going through module 2 of MA 2.0. What should be B2B targeting audience for fashion niche? There's so many fashion brands, no? Like so many, like there's Myntra and there's Mango and Only and like all of these things that we use, Zara and all of that. There's so many stuff. So Facebook profile is not a landing page actually. Yeah, Oriflame, yes, Oriflame is there, which are widespread MLMs. Tupperware is there. Okay, yes. I'm new to the course. If I want to test and run traffic ads to my IG profile, what kind of audience? So it depends. What is your audience? What are you trying to sell? What are you trying to do? It depends on that. Are you targeting other entrepreneurs? So then target entrepreneurs. It depends who are you wanting to target. What can I charge for consulting for Instagram, which includes 4 or 5 classes, organic and ads? Is it a Indian client? I'm gonna assume it's a international client. I would say $500, depending on how good your IG results are. The Q&A has been enlightening as always. Awesome. It was amazing as always. Awesome. I'm glad you guys came out to hang out with me. Great session as always. Is it 180p? I think so. I think it's at least 720. So the camera does support, I'm not too sure. I think it's at least 720p. Yeah. Can you make lessons on video making? I have. It's actually coming to you guys. It's just getting edited. It will be there in the bonuses module. So it will be out very soon over next week. Not good with clicking pics, but was curious. Do you get your pictures edited on Photoshop? No, I don't use Photoshop. But I use, so I have a good iPhone, right? So iPhones are awesome for clicking pictures. So that helps. And then I do minor editing with some editing apps. So that's what I do. Session was great. My BM account is restored after appealing. Awesome. Nikita, yes, but after the freebie is given, where should the audience be taken in? Yeah, so after the freebie is given, then you try to sell them something. So then you have their email ID, right? So you create a nurture sequence, you create an email sequence. So have you gone through like the sales funnel modules? That will make things more clear. So once you actually bring leads in, you send them a bunch of marketing emails, then you actually point them to whatever it is you're trying to sell. I saw you've got traffic secrets. I'm excited. I'm waiting for mine. I've just started it. It's going well for now. I'll definitely include it as a reference on the course when I'm done with it. The reason I've not included it yet because I don't recommend things I've not gone through. Even it's from one of the most awesome people. I love this session. Love spending time and learning more from you. Awesome. Great session and thanks for adding the Insta post on your IG post. Lean-in has been my favorite. Yeah, about my books, right? Thanks, Ruta, for the amazing informative session. Awesome. But what should be it in the test campaign perspective? So for the test campaign, you don't need to sell anything. You just read the ads and the lead gen funnel. Lead generation is what you are testing for now. So then you don't need to sell anything to anyone in a test campaign. All right, guys, I hope that helps. We went over time, but if you have more questions, as always, post in the group and my team will help you out. And I hope you guys are doing awesome. If you have more wins, post in the Facebook group. I always love seeing that. All right, guys, bye.